So, very good day to all. Welcome back my dear aspirants. So, as you all know, last class we have been stopped right where up to the human reproduction, that is formation of that is mammary glands, external genitalia, that is altogether reproductive organs in case of males and females, right. So, this class onwards we are about to study about gametogenesis, right. The process of formation of haploid gametes from diploid germ cells in the gonad is called as gametogenesis, right. You all know that the process of formation of gametes itself is called as gametogenesis. So, gametes are always haploid in nature. Okay, why they are haploid in nature? Remember one thing, just to maintain the constant number of the chromosomes. Okay, diploid gametes andre enagtade, the chromosome number may go on increasing, that is why we have only constant number of gametes, and this is occurred by the process of meiosis, right. So, it takes place in primary sex organs, right. So, primary sex organs are ovaries in case of females and testes in case of males. So, next we have spermatogenesis, that is the process of formation of male gametes which begins at the puberty, and we also have likewise oogenesis, the process of formation of ova in case of females. Okay, that is all after the puberty age. So, first we will look into spermatogenesis. Okay, spermatogenesis, you know, this process occurs in case of males. So, the process of formation of haploid male gamete, that is sperm, in seminiferous tubules of testes is called as spermatogenesis, right. So, here we know that in case of males, when we take a cross section of testes, we have certain lobular structures called as seminiferous tubules, and within those seminiferous tubules formation of male gametes, that is sperms or spermatozoa, takes place, and this is itself called as spermatogenesis. Okay, so what happens actually is, like I said you, the transverse section of the testes, okay, so it has a lobular structures called as seminiferous tubules. I will just paste a picture over here, okay, definitely. So, seminiferous tubules, we have two different kinds of cells, okay, one is germ cells and other is the Sertoli cells. Okay, Sertoli cells ಮತ್ತು germ cells differentiation ಹೆಂಗೆ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ, germ cells are oval in shape or round in nature, whereas Sertoli cells ಏನಾಗ್ತದ, they are triangular in nature. Okay, so triangular cells ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತದ, we say them as Sertoli cells. Function is, germ cells, you know, they undergo process of mitosis and meiosis, they help into formation of sperms. Whereas Sertoli cells, what it does is, we call them as nurse cells too. Nurse andre, they help into nourishment of the germ cells. That is why we have two kinds of cells, remember, germ cells or spermatogonia cells, and also we have Sertoli cells. Okay. So, moving back to next thing. Okay, spermatogenesis takes place into two different stages. Okay, remember, do not be confused, spermatidogenesis and spermiogenesis. Okay, or simply we can call it as spermatogenesis and spermiogenesis. Two stages are there, do not be confused. First is spermatogenesis. Spermatogenesis, we all know, process of formation of sperms or spermatozoa is called as spermatogenesis. The sub-step of the spermatogenesis itself is called as spermiogenesis. Spermio andre, maturation of spermatozoa to motile sperm is called as spermiogenesis. Okay, is it clear? So, spermiogenesis step in bartadalla, that comes under spermatogenesis itself. Okay, so that is why we have two stages, spermatogenesis and spermiogenesis. Okay, yes, good. So, now moving back to different stages of spermatogenesis. Okay, I will just deal in brief because you all know about this in very well and in depth knowledge. So, let me just deal you with a brief knowledge over here. Okay, I just want to brush up your minds right now. I do not want to repeat the entire topic over here because as you all know, this is CET, that is why we will be focusing on questions, but here I will be brushing you your minds on the certain topics which are very easy. Okay. So, first is we have spermatogonia which are diploid in nature. Okay, right. So, these are spermatogonia which are diploid in nature. So they undergo mitosis because before puberty there are many germ cells which are retained. Okay, so here they undergo mitosis to form many number of cells called as spermatogonia cells, and those are retained. Okay, and when the puberty arises, after this when the puberty comes, okay, one of the or two of the cells of primary spermatocytes are selected. Okay, they undergo meiotic division to form secondary spermatocytes, and then meiosis second division takes place to form the same haploid number of cells called as spermatids, and then they form the spermatozoa. Okay, remember one thing, in case of males what happens, you know, if there is one cell that is diploid, it undergoes division. Okay, so division admele, say for example one cell inda we have 4 cells after meiosis, right? So this is the process. So one cell in the 4 cell ಏನು ಆಗ್ತದಲ್ಲ, all the 4 cells develop into spermatozoa. Remember this. Okay, so all the 4 spermatozoas are formed from one cell. Okay, I'll just repeat this point again when I'll be dealing with oogenesis. Okay, so maturation phase dag itself we have spermiogenesis, that is inactive non-motile spermatids or spermatozoa are transformed into active motile sperms. Okay, so that is called as spermiogenesis. So coming back to spermiation. Okay, after spermiogenesis, sperm head embedded into the Sertoli cells and released from seminiferous tubules, that is called as spermiation. Okay, so here we have different kinds of words which I dealt with you. One is spermatogenesis, next is spermiogenesis, and the last one is spermiation. Firstly ಏನು ಆಗ್ತದಂದ್ರೆ, like I said, Sertoli cells ಇರ್ತದ ಮತ್ತು germ cells ಇರ್ತದ. ಸೊ Sertoli cells ಹತ್ರ ಏನು ಆಗ್ತದಂದ್ರೆ, ಯಾವ್ಯಾವ spermatozoa formation ಆಗಿರ್ತದಲ್ಲ, they just embed their head into Sertoli cells to gain nourishment from them. Okay, nourishment ಸಿಕ್ಕಾಗ one particular age ಬಂದಾಗ what they do, they are released from Sertoli cells and they move through the epididymis, vas deferens, vas efferens and stored into, I'll show you. Okay, and stored into seminal vesicle. Okay, ಇಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಏನಾಗ್ತದ, sperms movement ಆಗಿ they are stored into seminal vesicles over here. Okay, so ಈ ಥರ passage ಏನಾಗ್ತದಲ್ಲ, that is called as spermiation. Okay, so coming back to the next thing, that is, yeah, we have hormonal control. Okay, we have spermatogenesis and hormones ಹೇಳ್ಬಹುದು, ಇಲ್ಲ hormonal control of spermatogenesis ಅಂತಾನು ಹೇಳ್ಬಹುದು. Okay, yeah, sorry for the voice. Okay, so first thing what we have is, we have master gland, as you all know it is pituitary. So I would like to recall master of master gland. So I hope you all know the answer. It is nothing but it is hypothalamus. Location of hypothalamus, see exactly over here we have pineal gland and downwards to it we have hypothalamus, right? So I'll just show you the location next time whenever you guys meet. Okay, so coming back to this topic, okay, we have hypothalamic releasing hormones. Hypothalamus, as we all know, it is a master of master gland. Okay, so what it does is, it has many releasing hormones. Releasing andre ಆ ಹಾರ್ಮೋನ್ಸ್ ಹೋಗಿ ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಗ್ಲ್ಯಾಂಡ್ಸ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಎಫೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಪರ್ಟಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಹಾರ್ಮೋನ್ಸ್ನ ರಿಲೀಸ್ ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಮೆಸೇಜ್ ಕೊಡ್ತದೆ. ಓಕೆ, ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದ ಫಂಕ್ಷನ್ ಆಫ್ hypothalamus. When we are talking about gonads, obviously we have to remember of gonadotropin releasing hormones. So these are released from hypothalamus itself. So hypothalamus ಇಂದ GnRH, gonadotropin releasing hormones release ಆದಾಗ they go and act into the anterior lobe of master gland, that is pituitary. Okay, anterior lobe, we have two different lobes, anterior lobe and posterior lobe in pituitary. So anterior lobe ಗೆ we have gonadotropin hormones, right? So hypothalamus, what it has done, it has set to release gonadotropins for the pituitary. Okay, pituitary ಆಮೇಲೆ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತದ, gonadotropin release ಮಾಡ್ತದ, that is in the form of LH and FSH. LH we have luteinizing hormone, FSH we have follicle stimulating hormone. Okay, So LH what it does, it just acts on the Leydig cells. Okay, LH ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತದ Leydig cells ಮೇಲೆ act ಮಾಡ್ತದ. Leydig cells ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತದ, it goes on releasing androgens. I'll paste a picture over here. Okay, so Leydig cells basically they secrete androgens, whereas follicle stimulating hormones go and act on the Sertoli cells, that is nurse cells. So ಏನಾಗ್ತದ further process, androgen stimulates spermatogenesis. Spermatogenesis process ಆಗಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ we require androgens. So androgens ಎಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಬರ್ತದ, they come from the Leydig cells. So Leydig cells ಎಲ್ಲವರಿ ಮ್ಯಾಮ್ ಅಂತ ಕೇಳಿದರೆ ನಾ ಹೇಳಿದೆ ಟೆಸ್ಟಿಸ್ ಕ್ರಾಸ್ ಸೆಕ್ಷನ್ ತಗೊಂಡಿದ್ದಾಗ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಫರ್ ಸೆಕ್ಷನ್ ತಗೊಂಡಿದ್ದಾಗ we have lobular structures called as seminiferous tubules, and in between 2 or 3 lobes we have smaller Leydig cells. Okay, Leydig cells ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತದ, androgens release ಮಾಡ್ತದ, which in turn help into spermatogenesis. Right. So coming back to Sertoli cells. So what Sertoli cells does is they secrete the factors for spermiogenesis. Okay, further maturation of sperms ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಏನೇನು factors ಬೇಕಲ್ಲ, that is secreted from the Sertoli cells. Okay. Let me revise you again. Hypothalamus, pituitary and gonads. 3 different organs, they have to work together. First is we have master of master gland. Master of master gland ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತದ, ಮೆಸೇಜ್ ನ ಕೊಡ್ತದ anterior pituitary ಗೆ, that is master gland, to release gonadotropins. Gonadotropins ಯಾವ ಥರ ಅದ ಅಂದರೆ they are luteinizing hormone and follicle stimulating hormone which acts on the gonads. So these 3 organs are working together to take up the process of spermatogenesis. Right. So if you have doubts, you can ask me about it into the comment section, or you can message me on the teach me tab. Okay. So next is, yes. Okay. So coming back to sperm structure. Okay, sperm structure ತಗೊಂಡಿದ್ದಾಗ we have the 4 different parts: head, neck, middle part and tail. Okay, head ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತದ, it is elongated triangular in nature. It has anterior cap called as acrosome. Acrosome, the function is storage of hydrolytic enzyme. Okay, hydrolytic enzyme that is in the form of hyaluronidase. Okay, hydrolytic andre lysis of the external layer of egg takes place, that is called as hydrolytic enzyme. Okay, coming back to next part, that is neck. Neck helps into the connection of head and middle piece. Middle piece has mitochondria. Okay, many mitochondria are there. Why it is there? Just because it requires ATP, that is energy for the motility. As you all know, sperms are motile in nature, right? So motility ಆಗಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ they require energy. Energy ಎಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಬರ್ತದ, power house of the cell is nothing but mitochondria. So that's why they have many mitochondria. Okay, coming back to tail. Tail is long, slender, helps into vibrations. Okay, remember the thing, we males actually have 200 to 300 million sperms in one ejaculation. Okay, one insemination ಏನಾಗ್ತದಲ್ಲ, that is about 200 to 300 million sperms, and 60% must have normal shape, size and 40% motility. Okay, coming back to oogenesis. Okay, I would just like to go in a very fast manner over here, because everyone knows about oogenesis, spermatogenesis in detail. Okay, ಯಾವ್ದು point important ಇದೆ ಅಲ್ಲ, in perspective of CET, I'll just tell those points, do not worry. Okay, oogenesis is the process of formation of haploid ovum from diploid germ cell, is called as oogenesis. It begins at the embryonic development. So oogonia ಏನಾಗ್ತದ, those are diploid in nature. At birth, remember one thing, there are many 300 to 3 millions of oogonia cells which are present. Okay, but at puberty only 60,000 to 80,000 germ cells or primary oocytes are remained. Okay, puberty andre at the stage of maturation, remember only 60 to 80,000 of primary oocytes are retained. Okay, this is most important. The next is we have the different stages of oogenesis. We have oogonia, primary oocyte, primary follicle, secondary follicles, tertiary follicle and secondary oocyte. So, you all know about this in detail. So, I will just go fast in a fast manner. Okay, the differentiation between spermatogenesis and oogenesis is only that in spermatogenesis one spermatocyte ಏನದಲ್ಲ that helps into formation of 4 sperms. Yes. So, whereas in case of females one primary oocyte ಏನದಲ್ಲ that helps into formation of only 1 ovum and 3 polar bodies. Okay, wastage of 3 polar bodies are seen. Okay, polar bodies andre they are not required, only 1 ovum is formed. So, ratio hengide spermatogenesis ಮತ್ತು oogenesis ದಾಗ we have 1:4 ratio, 1 ovum and 4 sperms. Okay, one cell inda 1 ovum formation takes place, whereas in spermatogenesis all the 4 spermatogonia cells, all the 4 spermatids are seen. Okay, so this is about oogenesis. So, next coming back to menstrual cycle. Okay, so reproductive cycle of female primates is called as menstrual cycle. Okay, primates andre monkeys come, okay, all the different animals come over here, that is called as menstrual cycle. So, menstrual cycle is a term which actually in brief now ಏನು ಹೇಳಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ menstrual cycle begins when female reaches a age of puberty. Okay, puberty andre a maturation phase bandaga, that is around 13 to 15 years of age. Okay, at this age puberty adaga there is the ejaculation of certain menstrual blood, and that is called as menarche. Okay, the first blood of the menstrual cycle is called as menarche. During the menstrual cycle the uterus endometrium prepare itself for implantation of the fertilized egg, right. So, if fertilization does not takes place, then the uterus lining goes on shedding off. Okay, usually what we say, we have 28 to 32 days of cycle. Okay, and remember on the 14th day ovum is released. Take an example, we have 1 to 28 days of menstrual cycle, that is around 1 month, okay, roughly. So, exactly on the 14th day, okay, we say that the release of ovum takes place. Okay, that is a CET question. So, we have different phases in menstrual cycle. First is the bleeding phase or the menstrual phase, that is 3 to 5 days or 3 to 6 days, and then we have follicular phase. Follicular phase come from 6th day to 13th day. Okay, 13th day tana enen development agtadalla, that is follicular phase. 14th day ovulation, that is ovulatory phase. Okay, or else before and later phases are called as ovulatory phase. And last is we have luteal phase. Luteal phase ದಾಗ ಏನಾಗ್ತದ, corpus luteum development takes place, which helps into formation of progesterone hormone. Okay, so I'll just skip off this thing. We all know menstrual phase ಏನದ, that is bleeding phase is 3 to 5 days. Remember the days. And follicular phase is 1 to 14 days. But 14th day ಏನಾಗ್ತದ, release of ovum takes place. Okay, and then we have luteal phase, 14 to 28 or 14 to 30 days, last days ಏನದಲ್ಲ, that has luteal phase. Okay, where corpus luteum is formed, which release the progesterone. And remember menopause. Okay, 2 words bartada, that is in case of females. Puberty attain ಆದಾಗ first menstrual blood na ನಾವು menarche ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ, whereas the when these menstrual cycle comes to reduction, okay, when the menstrual cycle stops, we call it as menopause stage, that is after 50 years or 48 to 50 years. Yes, coming back to next topic, that is fertilization and implantation. Okay, so during coitus or during copulation, semen is released by the penis into the vagina and is called as insemination. Okay, during coitus release of sperms takes place into the vagina and that is called as insemination. Sperms, as you all know, I said these are motile in nature, that is why what they do, they move into the, I will take the picture. Okay, if the sperms are released over here into the vagina, okay, this is cervix and this is vagina. Okay, if the sperms are released over here, they start to move over here. Okay, as we all know, this is a female reproductive tract, these are ovaries, and ovaries ಇಂದ ಏನೇನು egg release ಆಗ್ತದಲ್ಲ those are catch by infundibulum region of the fallopian tube. Okay, so ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗ್ತದ fallopian tube ದಾಗ egg ನ catch ಮಾಡ್ಕೋತದ and when fertilization takes place, say for example fertilization is occurring over here. So fertilization ಆದಾಗ energy is released, energy release ಆದಾಗ egg, fertilized egg tries to move downwards. So downward move ಆಗಿ uterus lining ದಾಗ implantation ಆಗ್ತದ. Okay, this is the brief idea which everyone must have. Okay, yes. So insemination ಆಗಿದ್ಮೇಲೆ we have fertilization. Okay, fertilization ಹೆಂಗೆ ಆಗ್ತದ ಅಂದರೆ okay, usually yeah, so here you can see when the sperm fuses with the egg, okay, so ಆ region ದಾಗ ಏನು ಆಗ್ತದೆ. Okay, so here we can have the clear cut idea. Okay, here you can see this is the outer layer of the egg, okay, which is very smooth in nature. So right after fertilization what happens, you know, so when one sperm penetrates, okay, it the egg, what it does, it blocks the way for other sperms because hydrolytic enzymes are released by the sperms. Like I said, okay, ಆ hydrolytic enzymes ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತದ, it blocks the pathway for other sperms. Okay, so first lining ಏನು ಅದಲ್ಲ, the outer zona pellucida layer starting ಹೆಂಗಿದ್ದಾಗ fertilization ಆಗಿದ್ಮೇಲೆ it changes its outer layer and so that the further sperm entry has been blocked. So here blockage of polyspermy takes place. Okay, so coming back to sex determination, okay, brief idea each and every one of you know. I'll just take help of this flow chart and explain you all. Okay, so females release eggs, females andre they must have XX chromosome. So X chromosome yakandre haploid nature iruttada gametes indu, so that's why we have only one X chromosome in female, whereas in males, okay, meiosis ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆ males have the condition called as XY. meiosis ಆಗುವಾಗ either X is retained or else Y is retained in case of sperm head, that is acrosome. So if the fusion of X chromosome of the sperm takes place with the X chromosome of the ovum, then we have the condition of females. Okay, if the Y chromosome fuses with the X of the female, then we have XY condition, that is formation of the males. Okay, so that is about sex determination. So next, coming back to cleavage or different stages of the fertilization. Okay, first thing is egg and sperm union takes place and here zygote has been formed, that is fertilization. And zygote, what it does, it undergoes mitotic divisions. Okay, meiosis ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತದ, that is during the formation of gametes. So gametes individually form ಆಗಿ fertilization ಆಗ್ತದ and soon after fertilization mitosis begins. Okay, mitosis in the we have blastula stage, then we have many number of cells called as morula stage, and here after morula antrum cavity has been formed and here we have blastocyst stage. So blastocyst stage bandaga, okay, let me just erase this all. Okay, blastocyst stage tag ಏನು ಆಗ್ತದಂದ್ರೆ, okay, let me not take this. Okay, so blastocyst stage bandaga, this is the cell. Okay, cell has many number of cells, particular subcells, and this is a single layer of the cells over here. Okay, so roughly a diagram. Okay, yeah, I hope you can imagine. Okay, so ಏನಾಗ್ತದೆ ಅಂದರೆ blastocyst ಅಲ್ಲಿ we have single layer of cells over here, but many cells ಏನಾಗ್ತದೆ, they go into one of the side of the blastocyst. Okay, so those cells are called as trophoblast cells. Okay, these are outer are trophoblast cells and these are inner cell mass. Inner cell mass. Okay. Okay, so here that is blastocyst stage. Okay, so I will take this pointer itself. These are inner cell mass and these are trophoblast cells. So trophoblast cells, blastocyst stage ಏನಾಗ್ತದ, this is in case of fallopian tube. Okay, fallopian tube is over here. Okay, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗ್ತದ blastocyst stage has been formed, but further blastocyst cannot be embedded over here, that's why it's try to move downwards into the uterine wall. Uterus has 3 layers: endometrium, myometrium and perimetrium. So in the inner layer of endometrium, implantation process takes place where the embryo starts developing. Okay, so ಇಲ್ಲಿ implantation process ಆದಾಗ placenta formation takes place. So placenta is the temporary organ which is formed, which helps into nourishment of the further growing embryo. So functions of placenta, we have nutrition for the embryo, respiration, that is exchange of oxygen and carbon dioxide, excretion, that is nitrogenous waste are been in the form of urea into maternal blood, endocrine gland, because it regulates the hormones such as estrogen, progesterone, human chorionic gonadotropin and human placental lactogen, HPL, which are the temporary hormones seen only during gestation period or the pregnancy period. And then also release of certain antibodies in the form of diphtheria, smallpox, measles. Okay, these all antibodies are released, and also store glycogen till the liver is formed in case of embryos, and then effective barrier against toxic chemicals and germs. So that is the function of placenta which is seen. Okay, so we have placenta also releases HCG, HPL and relaxin hormone, which is seen only during gestation period. Okay, so we have totally 9 months of gestation in humans. So first month ದಾಗ ಏನಾಗ್ತದ embryo heart formation is seen. Okay, and then after first month, okay, we have second month, that is limbs and digits are formed end of 12 weeks, and then first movement and formation of hair on the head is seen during 5th month. Okay, end of 24th week, body is covered with fine hair, eyelid separates, eyelashes formed, etc. Okay, so just give me a minute. Yes, so coming back to this, at the end of 9th month, we know fetus has been fully developed and ready for delivery, that is called as parturition. Okay, the delivery process what we say, that is called as parturition, and pregnancy in layman language tak ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ, that is scientifically called as gestation period. Okay, so during parturition, fetal ejection reflex is seen. Okay, fetus what it does, with the help of the endocrine gland, that is adrenal, it goes on releasing the hormone called as relaxin. So ಈ ಹಾರ್ಮೋನ್ ರಿಲೀಸ್ ಆದಾಗ ಯೂಟ್ರೈನ್ ವಾಲ್ ಏನಾಗ್ತದ, ಕಾಂಟ್ರಾಕ್ಷನ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ರಿಲ್ಯಾಕ್ಸೇಷನ್ ಪ್ರೊಸೆಸ್ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟಪ್ ಆಗ್ತದೆ, and that is called as fetal ejection reflex. Okay, so here relaxin is also helpful for the parturition process. Okay, so last thing we have, that is lactation. Okay, mammary gland of female undergo differentiation, produce milk towards the end of pregnancy, that is called as lactation. Okay, and the first milk in the mother soon after delivery is called as colostrum. Colostrum, this is most important MCQ question, majority of the year it has been asked. The first milk which is yellowish in color, that is called as colostrum. It is very rich in antibodies, which helps into the further barrier, okay, antibody barrier, antigen barrier of the fetus or the newborn babies which are seen. Okay, so breastfeeding during the initial period of infant growth is recommended for bringing up the healthy baby, because the colostrum main irtade, it has majority of the antibodies, especially IgG. Okay, yeah, so this is about the end of human reproduction class. Okay, I'll soon post the questions, okay, MCQ questions, and also if you have doubts, I'll just clear it out. Okay, you can ask the question, yaudara doubts bandre you can ask me anytime. And see, what I'll do is, first I'll just post frequently asked question. Okay, so ಬೇರೆ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ಸ್ ಯಾವುದದ, CET ಆಗಲಿ, ಕಾಮಿಡ್ಗೆ ಆಗಲಿ, ಏಮ್ಸ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ ಆಗಲಿ, ಇಲ್ಲ ನೀಟ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ ಆಗಲಿ, ಇವೆಲ್ಲ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ಸ್ನಾಗ ಯಾವ್ಯಾವ ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್ ಕೇಳಾವಲ್ಲ ಅವು ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್ನ ನಾನು ಆ್ಯಸ್ ಅ ಕ್ವಿಜ್ ಅಂತ ಕೊಡ್ತೀನಿ. Okay, later on I'll have another session wherein the previous year, okay, previous year andre previous 10 years question paper I have taken the questions of human reproduction topic, and that questions what we'll do, we will be having a separate live class for this and we will solve the questions. Okay. So, I hope all the aspirants are having a very good revision on human reproduction, and if you have any doubts you can ask me anytime. Yes. Thank you for watching this video.